I still remember the exact second the Thanksgiving table turned to ice. My aunt raised her champagne flute with that practiced sparkle and said, "Well, Emily's wedding was straight out of a fairy tale. So, Harper, when do we get to plan yours?" Everyone tittered. My cousin Emily beamed like she'd been waiting for the cue. Dad kept slicing the bird as if his life depended on perfect portions. I laid my knife down, slow enough that the clink echoed like a gunshot. "I already had mine," I said, smiling just enough to make it sting. "You were all invited. 8 months ago." You could have heard the candles flicker. Mom's fork froze halfway to her mouth. "Sweetheart, we never received anything." I reached into my tote, pulled out my tablet, and let the glow light my face like a spotlight. "Funny," I said. "Because someone in this house signed for every single one." Growing up, our family ran on one unspoken rule. Emily was the sun. I was whatever planet stayed quiet so her orbit looked flawless. Report cards, recitals, prom photos. If it wasn't about Emily, it got tucked into drawers or accidentally left in the rain. I didn't fight it. I just learned to live in the shade. Portland gave me sunlight. 3,000 miles from their manicured Connecticut lawn, I built a life that actually fit. A tiny loft smelling of dark roast and cedar. A job mapping coastal erosion that let me protect something bigger than family expectations, and Noah quiet. Steady Noah, who noticed when I hadn't eaten and remembered the names of every tide pool creature I loved. His parents welcomed me like I'd always belonged. The first time his mom pulled me into a hug that lasted longer than a polite second, I almost cried into her sweater. When Noah proposed on a stormy pier with rain drumming the boards, we decided on 25 guests, a weathered lighthouse, and vows we wrote ourselves. I hand-addressed every envelope in silver ink. I paid extra for tracking and signature confirmation. Because I knew how things disappeared in that house. When the status flipped to delivered, I let myself hope, stupid, fragile hope, that they might finally choose me. They didn't. No calls. No texts. Not even a heart react on the engagement photo I posted. The family group chat kept buzzing. Emily's venue tour, Emily's dress fittings, Emily's bridal shower that apparently needed its own hashtag, but my name never appeared again. Quietly, cleanly, I'd been edited out. No one never pushed, but one night he sat beside me on the couch, opened his laptop, and said, "Let's look." Together we found the postal receipts, 4 packages, for signatures in Emily's unmistakable loopy scrawl. Then the shared family iCloud, someone had opened my save-the-date email at 2:14 a.m., marked it unread, then deleted it forever. The device name? Emily's rose gold MacBook. I felt the old ache bloom, but this time it came with teeth. Thanksgiving was my deadline. I almost didn't go. Then I realized skipping would let them keep the story they liked. Harper the aloof one, Harper who never needed anybody. So I flew east, packed evidence instead of cranberry sauce, and walked into the house that still smelled like cinnamon and performance. Dinner unfolded like every year. Emily's destination wedding in Tuscany got a 20-minute standing ovation. My aunt's toast circled back to me like a joke everyone was in on. That's when I laid the tablet in the center of the table, screen up, signatures glowing. April 12th, I said, zooming in. Emily signed for Mom and Dad's. April 13th, Aunt Claire's. Same handwriting. Same lie. Mom's wine sloshed. "This is absurd." Emily wouldn't. "She did," I said softly. "And you let her." Emily's husband, Grant, stared at her like he was seeing a stranger. Dad finally put down the carving knife. "Emily," he said, voice cracking, "tell me this isn't true." She tried to laugh first, light, dismissive. When that died in the air, her face hardened. I was protect. The timeline. My wedding was the big one that year. Yours was small. Barely a thing. I didn't think anyone would even want to go. The room inhaled as one. I stood, chair legs whispering across hardwood. "You didn't think 25 people who love me would want to watch me marry the best man I've ever known? Or you just couldn't stand splitting the spotlight for one single weekend?" Emily's eyes filled, but I was done translating tears into innocence. Mom reached for me. "Harper, families make mistakes." "You didn't make a mistake," I said. "You made a choice. Every day. For 31 years. And this time the receipt has your daughter's signature on it. I slipped on my coat. Dad tried to stand. His knees wouldn't let him. Emily whispered my name like a spell that had stopped working. At the door I paused. You didn't miss my wedding, I said. You erased it. There's a difference. The November air hit my face like forgiveness. Noah was waiting in the driveway, engine warm, headlights cutting through the dark. He opened the passenger door without a word and pulled me across the console into his arms until I stopped shaking. 3 days later, Emily sent a 4-page text full of therapy speak and excuses. I archived it. Dad mailed me the invitation he found stuffed behind old Christmas decorations, creased, forgotten, still beautiful. Mom hasn't called. That silence finally feels honest. I used to think walking away meant losing. Turns out it just means choosing the people who never made me audition to belong. If you've ever carried proof of love in your pocket and still had to prove it existed, drop your city in the comments. You're not alone. And hit subscribe because some stories need witnesses.